Good morning, class, and welcome to our Chapter 2 lecture for Management Information Systems. I had some questions on where the quizzes will be located within iLearn, and I'm going to show you that real quick. So let me share my browser. I'm going to go to iLearn, Test and Quizzes, and they're all going to be right here. The draft ones are ones I'm working on for this semester. You don't see those until they're published. But you'll see quiz 1 for spring 20 was published this morning. It's due on January 28th at 11:55 p.m. And so you know the results from the quizzes go right to gradebook. Okay. And to go over some more things, all our assignments for the semester are posted. And I'm going to assign chapter 1 for our Dirtbugs case right now to group 1. So this will be where you're going to post your slideshow and a link to your video. Let me just do this real quick and then we'll get started with our lecture. That'll be due 11:55 on the 20th as well. And what will happen, you guys will send me the presentation, your video, and I'll forward the video on to the entire class. So we can all get a grip on what Dirtbugs is all about. And there we go. So our first group project is active for dirt bikes, as well as our first assignment. And actually, all the chapter assignments are up and ready to go. And you see the first one, we already had someone submit. So thank you for that. So I'm going to stop sharing my browser and we're going to get on with our chapter 2 lecture. So global e-business and collaboration. This is really a good overview of what our semester is going to be like. So let's see what's going on here. So our objectives are we're going to look at what business processes are and how they relate to systems. A little sneak peek, business processes are how any individual does his or her job, and we build information systems based on how we as end users do our jobs. We'll look at some different types of systems in general and see how different management groups use them. We'll briefly go over collaboration and social business. You'll read more about that more than we'll lecture about it. And we'll look at the hierarchy of the IS-IT function, see where it fits into the business. Our homework case is CMEX. CMEX is an interesting case. It becomes a social business. In the past, we showed a dated Walmart video, which showed their retail link system. That was a video I would reference quite often, but now it's taken down in the United States, so we can't use it anymore. So a business process, again, in general, it's how you do your job. It's how material flows, information, and knowledge. There's what I call a data life cycle. So data is raw facts. We process it. We have information. We put some experience around information. We get knowledge. And we put data, information, knowledge together with analytics and experience, and we get wisdom. Our business processes should be logical, easy to use, easy to replicate, and be to your job function. They can be cross-functional. We'll see that a lot in finance departments who deal with HR for the payroll process, which we're going to look at in a little bit. We talked in the video I posted yesterday about a business as a collection of people, data, and its processes. And we can see the same here in its slide. And much like we talked about, an information system should provide value to an organization, but sometimes it doesn't. The same can be said with business processes. They should be an asset, especially if we're operationally excellent, which should be an asset, or it could be a liability. Just think if a process we have wasn't efficient, wasn't getting the job done, then we're a liability to our organization. We may have to go through something we're going to look at in the last 3 weeks of the chapter called business process redesign, or we may have to release that current employee who is resistant to change and find someone more willing to do what it takes to be operationally excellent. So some examples of business processes could be assembling a product in manufacturing, identifying customers in marketing, creating marketing plans, the actual process of cold calling for maybe selling. I know a lot of people that are in sales departments within professional baseball teams of various levels. They have a process of how they'll call previous season ticket holders to try to re-up, and they'll have a list of people that have bought individual game tickets who they'll cold call and try to buy season tickets. Finance and accounting, creating financial statements is really a general job. It's really done once a year, maybe quarterly. We could think of maybe paying our vendors in accounts payable or receiving funds in accounts receivable. Human resources could be hiring employees or doing performance appraisals. This flow is a simple order fulfillment process. And we see it looks like 3 distinct processes. Sales generates an order and submits the order. Then it goes to accounting where we check, do we have enough money in the account to pay for it? If so, we build it and ship it, and we generate an invoice. It doesn't show the not. So if the credit didn't pan out, we would go back to sales and look for another type of payment. So that's one thing missing from this business process. In manufacturing is assemble product and ship product. But we've seen here business processes may be tied to functional area or cross-functional areas, and that's exactly what we're showing in this slide. How IT gets involved. IT gets involved because we have a team of professionals called business analysts who sit between IT and our end users in the business and learn how people do their jobs. That person will then take it back to our project managers and developers and say, what can we do to make this process easier for this user to use? Repetitive tasks will automate. That's exactly what the first bullet is saying. If a process isn't efficient, we'll look to redo it. We change the flow of information, replace steps, take steps out. So we have fast decision making, better decision making, etc. So some systems different managers use. Remember our hierarchy, the lowest level is at operations group, the operations management group. They typically use TPS or transaction processing systems. And the easiest way I can explain that is you go, say, across the street from Marist to the mobile station, and you buy 4 or 5 items, and the clerk uses a scanner, scans the items in, you give them payment, you leave with the merchandise. That's a transaction, the exchange of goods for currency or goods for goods. This is done at that lowest level. We can monitor sales, we can monitor returns, we can monitor employee patterns, we can judge workloads based on sales, all from transaction processing systems. One you guys are intimate with is the class registration process here at Marist. So that online process you do to register for classes, you can think of that as a transaction processing system, where the inputs are you all choosing your classes. Banner will arrange your schedule. The output is you receiving your schedule and confirmation that you've registered for your classes. This is a simple payroll system. It's showing how we actually cut checks in a business environment. So the payroll system is our transaction processing system, which accepts data from many places, from an employee database. This is the structure of the database. We're going to learn that this is an entity. So this would be maybe named employee. Entity is a noun. The things inside the box are attributes, or what we call adjectives, what describes the noun. So we get all this stuff about us, the employee. It's stored in this database. So think of employee data as a punch clock. You've maybe used biometrics to fingerprint in and fingerprint out. That goes to our payroll system. The hours get calculated, hits your database. We calculate your gross pay by multiplying pay rate times hours worked. We take out all your appropriate taxes and we get our earnings, our net pay. So what happens then? Our net pay goes to the payroll system. We get a paycheck. The tax information goes to the tax agency. Management reports maybe get year-to-date earnings and maybe year-to-date on all the deductibles. And our general ledger gets the amount we spent for gross pay. So some other types of systems, these we're going to look at in chapters 9 through 12, are management information systems, in particular, customer relationship management and supply chain management. We'll look at decision and executive support systems. We put these systems in place to automate processes and help our managers and our workers make better decisions. Should shrink our organization as well. So MIS serves the middle level of our hierarchy. We get our current performance based on our transaction processing system, and we can have a little bit of forecasting from previous years' information from our transaction processing system, but that's the extent of our analytic capabilities. The diagram here is just showing when you see a cylinder in our slides that represents a database, the arrows really show a flow of information. So here we have 3 different systems feeding 4 different databases into a MIS that processes data from sales, materials, resource planning, and general ledger, and gives reports to our managers. This is what a sample MIS report would look like. And here's what managers would do with this. If we look at carpet cleaners, what area are we doing the best in versus planned sales? Well, we're not doing so well in the Northeast and the West, but we're doing well in the Southwest and very well in the Midwest. So what can we say here? Maybe we drop our forecast for the Northeast and West and send product to the Midwest because we're doing quite well. That's the type of decisions we can make by looking at an output from a MIS system. Decision support systems really get data from transaction processing systems and management information systems to help us make decisions. Non-routine decision making. As we see here in Voyage's estimated decision support system. Executive support systems are geared to the mindset of our C-suite, who really want data in scorecards and dashboards. They don't want to see emails more than a couple paragraphs. They don't want to see spreadsheets with multiple sheets. We want a snapshot of what's going on. Why do we want that? These individuals have worked hard in their careers to get where they are. They're really concerned about our survival, our strategic plan. Yeah, we want to see performance really in real time so we can make snap decisions should we have to help middle management. But we also want to be able to take what's ultimately going to be stored in our data warehouses and make decisions long term. So, two-part question for showing that we've watched a video. I discussed the NFL and its use of AI and the Microsoft Surface tablets a little bit in the first case. So let's look at the interactive session. Let's do a little research on how the NFL uses its Surface tablets and how teams are better prepared to play their games and to adjust during their games. And let's give a little overview. If you want to answer the questions, great. Or just tell me the NFL is using the Surface tablets and AI to do this. The second part of the question is kind of big in American culture and brand awareness. A very famous American brand announced yesterday that its mascot will die in a commercial during the Super Bowl. Tell me who that mascot would be. So enterprise applications, which I talked a little bit about during chapter 1, they link every area of our organization, or they can link every area of our organization. So think of one cylinder that looks like a database, storing information about our employees, our customers, our vendors, our transportation methods, our marketing plans, our sales data, etc. And we have links to this data to each part of our application. So HR has a module to manage people. Sales and marketing have a way to be intimate with our customers and suppliers. IT has a way to be intimate with our users. At Greystone, we use an enterprise application called NetSuite. Currently, we use it for our financial system. However, I'm currently working to integrate the CRM piece of the puzzle with NetSuite. And then I'll look to do a knowledge management system to tie in my facilities and my IT departments to build a knowledge base of common errors so that we can better serve our customers. We don't have a production of products and services. We don't ship products, so we don't use a supply chain management system, but a lot of firms can. And we'll see in chapter 9 how Nike and Apple supply chain is implicated by digital enterprise systems for supply chain management. This slide is really an overview of what I just talked about. What's key here is our managers now have a view of our operation from one portal. Depending on your access to different parts of the modules, we can see how each functional area of our organization is performing, and we can make adjustments on the fly. We're going to have faster communication in our organization and to our customers. We're going to have better decision making because we're going to have one set of data based on our entire organization's business processes in one spot. Less chance for what I call data anomalies or problems with data. We talked about supply chain management already. We'll look more into it in chapter 9. It's the process of delivering raw materials to a manufacturing site, the manufacturing site building the product, then shipping the product out, maybe directly to a customer, more than likely to a warehouse or a distribution center, and then distribution center to employees. So the manufacturing piece and the shipment to warehouse or customer is called the upstream part of our supply chain, and the downstream is delivering the product to our users. And you can probably imagine problems within the supply chain, time zone problems. A lot of things are manufactured in the Far East, language barriers, legal barriers, um, weather problems. A lot of products from China, Japan, Korea are shipped via boat. How long it takes to get boat from, Taiwan to California is affected by weather patterns, um, oil prices, things like that. So all things we can look at through a dashboard within a supply chain management system, and we can adjust routes, we can adjust how we have stock on demand to make our products, how we manage what stock we keep to deliver to our customers faster than we normally would. Customer relationship managements are how we maintain relationships with our customers, whether they're internal or external. We hope to optimize revenue, have better customer satisfaction and retention, identify who our better customers are so we can market to them differently than our not so well informed customers. We hope to increase sales, and we hope to get some market penetration through cold calling and new customer acquisition. Knowledge management systems are really used for specialized workers, lawyers, doctors, financial analysts, architects. All use specialized systems with specialized computing systems to be able to use these people's knowledge and expertise to the firm's greatest advantage. These workers will typically make more than middle managers, almost equivalent to our C-suite. So we have to make our systems as easy to use as possible with good graphic interfaces where we don't have to train them on how to use the graphic user interface, but they can use their expertise to put in input so these systems can produce great outputs that we can build our organization on. We looked a bit in chapter 1 on intranets, extranets, and the internet. Again, the internet is the world's largest wide area network, and a network is when we connect 2 or more computers. And the internet's, again, connected by devices called routers, which are simply hardware which connects 2 networks or more than 2 networks. The intranet, we talked about my.marist.edu. It's a piece of the internet just for us. And the extranet is where we, say Marist, allows someone like Barnes & Noble access into our class database to see what orders we have to fill for professors in the faculty inline system. So it provides a way for us to share what we need to a company who's servicing us. We talk about E a lot in our class. Just think of E as electronic. So e-business, it's electronic business. Think of we're all getting ready to file our taxes. That's e-business. We think about e-commerce. That's a part of e-business where we exchange goods for currency through the internet. And that could be business to business, business to consumer, or consumer to consumer, as we discussed. Sorry, e-business is how we drive our business processes electronically, the foundation of a digital firm. E-government, we use the filing our taxes example. So sorry about that. So collaboration. It's the process of utilizing groups to help us build a result. Why we collaborate? Well, we make teams so we can share the expertise, culture, upbringing, experience of others within our group to make us better. Usually the work of a team is greater than the work of an individual. And I found this hard to believe until I started my graduate career at Marist in 2002. Prior to that, I had liked to work alone. I was doing well in my career. However, I had a performance appraisal at XL Capital Assurance that said, I take on too much. I have to work more with others to provide better results. And I really didn't see the need because when I was an undergrad, we didn't do team projects. We very rarely worked together on anything. And I remember working on a data modeling class with a couple of buddies I made while in graduate school. And we produced a result that we should have published, but we didn't at the time. And it was such a rewarding experience to work with these three individuals to produce the type of result we did. So groups can be short or long term. So our groups will be 4 months old. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about the interruption. Again, I apologize for that. I have to turn my ringer off, which I just did. So social business is using social media tools integrated with our enterprise resource planning tools to better engage with our employees and our customers. We used to watch a video in class with Comcast where they used a customer relationship management tool called Salesforce to interact with people asking about their internet or TV service. Continually, they were falling behind in customer support matrices in the industry. So what did they do? They integrated Twitter within their Salesforce, gave each member of their organization a Twitter handle, and now we were interacting real time with our customers. Optimum, Spectrum, DirecTV all currently use Twitter as a main means of providing first line support for internet and television related issues. Again, better bond with our customers, faster decision making, better communication should have a better result in the long run for our customer retention. We talked about benefits of working as a team already. You'll see in class that you'll produce a better overall weekly project working together. And what's going to happen is happening every semester. You're going to divvy out the questions with each other. Then you're going to get together and see how everything fits. So once you get through how everything fits, you're all going to get up to speed on how you're going to present. So that process of actually presenting will be individual work coming together as a team, seeing how everything fits. So I'm putting everything together coherently for a final result. You're going to have quicker results, better results. We'll look at the group project for AI, IBM Watson. There'll be a lot less stress on you working as a team of 5 or 6 than it would be a team of 1. Some requirements for collaboration. You have to have people willing to work together. You have to be an open culture. Collaboration doesn't work if we have an office space with all offices with their doors closed. Collaboration works best in an open office concept. Teams have to feel empowered to be able to produce a product and make decisions. Some tools we use for collaboration: email, instant messaging, Google Hangouts, Skype, wikis, and not so much, virtual worlds, not so much. Really, collaboration services like OneDrive, Google Docs, what we're using here, WebEx or Skype or GoToMeeting. Scratch IBM Notes, it's only really used within IBM and some other random places. Most people are using SharePoint. SharePoint is a Microsoft Office 365 portal environment where groups can share services and documents, processes, videos, etc. Office 365 also has something called Microsoft Teams, where teams can collaborate real time. We can see schedules. We can see where people are at any given day. We can see what people are working on. Lastly, and we'll see a couple questions on midterm, definitely on this. It's the IS department in general. You could think of the IS department as a three-tier hierarchy as we discussed in chapter 1. The operations level are our end users. So I told you I think end users are part of the IT department. Along with end users are our help desk people, our help desk managers, our business analysts, our call center people. That middle level will be programmers, systems analysis, who are a different role than business analysts, our network administrators, our database administrators, our programmers, our project management office will sit here as well. Our C-suite is typically led by a CIO. What's not here on this slide is the position of CTO, or Chief Technology Officer. Most big companies will have both, where a CIO is responsible for data and a CTO is responsible for a company's technology. We have a Chief Security Officer, better known as Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO. We could have a Chief Knowledge Officer, a Chief Privacy Officer, and a Chief Data Officer. I've not seen the latter three in my career, however. How IT departments are built is really in a document called IT governance. The hierarchy will sit in this governance document. How IT department functions will sit here. There'll be rules for help desk. There'll be rules for project management office. There'll be rules for our development environment. There'll be rules for data retention. You'll see business continuity and disaster recovery processes in this document. We'll see who has decision rights. We'll see who's accountable for what processes, what applications, what procedures. And we'll see the type of information systems function we have. Centralized means the IT functions at our headquarters and all branch offices will report into it. Decentralized is where each different organizational unit within a bigger organization has their own IT department. And we'll see more about that in the coming weeks. That's it for this week, guys. Remember our question on the NFL and AI and the Surface tablets, as well as our famous brand mascot who passes away at the Super Bowl coming up. I know this is a little week early, but we now have 2 chapters to watch instead of just one. Hope you have a great weekend and have a good day.